Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Cannin Investments, and I'm Steven. Today we're going to look at one of the biggest USA vertically integrated grows, mostly out of Florida, recently into Massachusetts and California. You'll start to see some dispensaries, but with the expanded dispensary count in Florida, I think they're up to 27 or 28 dispensaries. Huge market share in a huge market. Makes it for very interesting revenues. So take a look at our fundamental analysis on Trulieve. But we're here today for the technical analysis, and so I want to jump into the pricing chart now so we can take a look at some of our friendly indicators we've looked at before. So you'll see we're looking at Trulieve. This is the OTC ticker down in the United States. They're also traded in Canada, but we're looking at the OTC ticker, TCNNF. They've started trading mid to late last year, so not a lot of history here. We're looking at the daily candles with the Hakanashi again. And we're looking at the CCI, the Commodity Channel Index, as well as the coppock curve, and both of these are kind of moving averages, indicators that use moving averages. This is kind of the difference between moving average, here 20 periods, and the price. And this is looking at differences in moving averages, 10, 14, and 11. And so you'll notice the axes here on the CCI, positive 100 and negative 100 is marked. And so anytime we're above 100, that's a signal that this is overbought or oversold, and we know which one that is in this case. Below 100 is opposite, right? So oversold, overbought. What does the coppock curve tell us? This here, we're looking from 40 to minus 40, and we want to watch for traditionally changes from positive to negative. So here's 0, and you can see how the price crosses 0 here, comes back down. So the traditional way to look at the coppock curve is when it crosses from negative to positive, as it does here. When it crosses 0, that's an opportunity to buy. And let's just see what happens when it did that. We were at about $8, and had we stayed all the way until it crossed again, $11. That's pretty nice gains. But as you know, using one indicator and only doing an easy analysis like that, sometimes it can be dangerous. Let's see what happens with the CCI. Here would be a trigger, and we know what this means, but let's just see what the price does. As soon as it crosses 100, $7, it kind of dilly-dallies above 100 for a while until it is crossing here again, where it's up at about $13. So, this indicator is telling us not to do anything, but look at the price increase during that period. So I want to point you to a little more in-depth way to look at these things, and we've used this strategy with indicators before. It's not only to look at the first signal, the traditional signal, from negative to positive here on the coppock curve, but it's to look for changes of the slope. So here we have a positive slope, and then all of a sudden we have this peak. That's a slope of 0. Then we have a negative slope, a valley, again a slope of 0. So look at these slope changes. Anytime we have a positive, here's our first signal, negative to positive, then we have this positive slope. That's great. Positive slope means positive pricing chart gains. Look what happens when the slope turns pretty horizontal here. We see a period of horizontal price movement. Then we see this negative slope back down, and then we see positive to negative change on the coppock curve. Look what happens during the price here. Big loss in price. And then, traditionally, positive to negative, the axis is here. Look at this. That would have been our signal on the coppock curve to short or sell this stock. We've missed the negative price movement at that point. But if we're trading slopes, look when those slope changes here, we would have had a nice little gain. So pay attention to the traditional way to analyze these indicators, but go a little more in depth. Look at slope. This is super powerful on all of the weighted moving average indicators, the oscillating indicators. So slope becomes our friend, trend becomes our friend. Trulieve is an excellent growing company. Pay attention. I think there's some pretty interesting indications here recently. But you tell me what the price is going to do here. I think it's a pretty obvious play. So thank you very much. I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, please comment in the comments section.